Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. This is day 18 of COVID-19 UK lockdown and this is video number 18. So today it's a bit different. I'm just doing some nail art and I'm going to concentrate on one stroke flowers and a few other ideas. I am by no means, really good at this. I try my best and if it turns out great, if it doesn't, scrap it and start again. But I do hope that you enjoy this video and I'm letting you see how I would set up to do my one stroke flowers, how to keep my paint kept wet. So I'll just explain it as we go along. So I've got tinfoil, I've got J-cloth that I've cut into squares, and I have greaseproof paper. So these are the different types of nail art paints that I would use. These are from Brushwork and they're their one movement nail art paints. And then I also use ones from Mystic Nails. Although I do prefer the Brushwork. They mix so much better. They're a bit thicker. The Mystic Nail ones are very, very thin and very, very hard to apply. So I start off by wetting my J-cloths and just squeezing out, keeping them fairly wet, and then I'm going to put them on top of the tin foil. That'll stop the dampness going through to my desktop, and then I put the greaseproof paper on top. So it's going to dampen down obviously because of the J-cloths, and I'm now going to apply the acrylic paint onto my greaseproof paper. So the dampness is what keeps your paint wet. So I also use baby wipes, and the reason I use the baby wipes is it's an easy way just to clean off your brush in between and just to remove any of the water from our brushes. So these are the different type of brushes that I use. So one is a straight head and one is a slanted head, and they come in all different sizes, and this is just like a wee detailer brush. I just got these off eBay. They came in a set for like £6 or something, but these other ones, the smaller ones, are from Brushwork, but I do prefer working with the ones I got off eBay. I think they hold their shape better. The ones from Brushwork tend to fan out and you don't get those really nice clean lines. So what I'm doing here is I'm adding just a drop of water to all the paints, and that's going to keep it really fluid and easy to use. And I'm just mixing up some blue because I only have a navy and a white, so you can just mix up as many colours as you want, just interchanging all the colours. If you know the colour wheel, isn't it like blue and yellow mix green and so on. I'm not that clued up on it, but I just mix to see what I like. So I'm going to start off by showing you just some of the strokes that we would use when we're doing one art. So I have loaded my brush up with, if you look in the top right hand corner, pink and white, and I'm now just doing a zigzag in a horseshoe shape, just very short zigzags. You probably wouldn't even notice them unless you were really looking for it. Now with the black card, it is drawn out all the moisture and the colours, so I'm going to have to keep repeating the steps on the card more than I would on the set of nails. You probably wouldn't have to do it 2 or 3 times on nails. I do prefer always doing my one stroke nail art on like a dark colour. To do it on white, sometimes it's, you don't get the same effect, but I have shown you some nail art on a white nail. So as you can see, I've had to go over this 3 times. And if you look at how I'm holding my brush when I go to do the next set, so I've turned the angle of the brush on its side, and I'm just doing those little zigzag shapes and then a little tail at the end. And it's been turned completely upside down now to do the bottom petal. So I'm just going to go in now and reload the brush and just go over that again. So if you were doing this on nails, you would probably have to wait in between each layer so that it's going to dry, because if you put wet paint on top of wet paint, you're just going to drag it off when you start to move it. But because I'm working on the card, it's taken all that moisture quite quickly, so I don't have to wait on it drying. Okay, so I've loaded up my brush again, and I'm literally just doing like an upside down C. So I'm going to show you what it's like at the side. So I'm holding my brush completely vertical, and I'm just going in a C shape. And that's going to create that little petal in the center of the nail. So the next one is the opposite shape of the one you've just done. So it's almost like you're doing a circle. So you're keeping your brush very, very straight, and you're just doing a slight curve. And you're not going to join them up completely. You're going to leave that little gap that just shows the different petals. So for the next petals, I'm holding my brush again vertically, and I'm just tilting it to the side just to do those little petals. I'm sorry this angle of the camera isn't the best. Okay, and there we go, we got another petal in. So that is basically a one-stroke flower. It's a rose, and then you'd go in with a little detailer brush and you would detail all those petals and add any highlights or any extra colour that you would need to. So as you can see, I've went ahead and I've added some dots and some swirly lines. It just helps to make the flower stand out a little bit more on the nail, and it just makes it a bit more interesting. I'm so sorry I forgot to hit record, but I have done the base petals exactly the same as you saw me do them on the card, but I am going to do another rose shape, so you'll be able to see each petal as it's laid down. So this one has got 2 layers of the petals rather than the inside of the rose, and I've just done some petals falling from the main flower. So you want to make sure that you always have your brush loaded with paint. You don't want to have your brush, you know, miss parts of your petal, because when you go back in to do it, it'll never work out the same. So I'm just going to now with my little detailer brush. This is a 0 brush from Brushwork, and it's so small, and it's great for getting those little intricate points put into it. Onto the leaves. Leaves are definitely not my strong point. I don't know what it is, but I can't get that sort of proper leaf shape. But I've mixed together yellow and green, and I'm using my slanted brush and going up in a slant. So this is another rose design that I'm doing for you, and I'm doing it on a black background, so you can see straight away that the colours are more vibrant, and this is why I prefer to do it on a dark surface rather than a white nail. So you can see all the different angles that I'm holding my brush just to get the shape of the petals. And you find as well, working on a darker nail, you don't have to load your brush up as many times. I mean, that is so much deeper in colour than on top of the black card. But I am going in again and I'm just adding just a little bit more colour. So while I'm waiting on the main flower drying, I'm going in and I'm doing my leaves. And to do the bottom of the nail, if you were using your client's hands, I would turn my client's hands round in the opposite direction so that I could see their nails. And you know, it's easier for me to do it this way, just to manipulate my client's hands to get the best position for me to do the flower for them. So after I've done the leaves, the inside of the flower is dry, and I can go in now with my the little C shape, and then I'm doing the other C shape to create the inside of the rose. And if you see the angle of my brush, just to put those little inside petals. And then I will go in again with my detailer brush and I will just sharpen up all those little lines. So on to a blue flower this time. I'm not too clued up on the flowers, so I don't actually know what, is it a forget-me-not? I don't know. So I'm mixing together blue and navy, and I'm just, if you can see, I'm actually stopping in between each stroke and just carrying it around. I'm not doing any zigzag shape, I'm literally just doing a C shape. And now I'm going to turn my brush around and I'm going to do the lower petals in exactly the same way. So now I'm doing the larger inner petals, and I'm going to turn my, well, would be my flexi hand to the side, which you would do with your client's hands. And again, I'm just doing that same movement, just stopping in between each stroke, and I'm giving each petal a little tail at the end of this one. And in with my little detailer brush, I've actually mixed together the blue and the white just to give a nice light blue, because I think the white was just too stark. So I've just done yellow in the centre of the nail and just carried it out with sort of little stems that are coming from the inside of the nail. Just makes it a bit more interesting. Lines have never been my strong point. I can never ever get them really straight, but I try. So I'm just doing a different little design just to finish off this nail with not straight lines and dots. So for doing any nail art and starting off with one stroke, this is probably the easiest one that you would do. So I've literally done a squiggly gold line up the centre of the nail, and I'm just doing just little petals in the little zigzag, very, very small. And I'm going to do that just here and there down that gold line. So in with the green and the yellow again to do the leaves. And if you look, I just sort of do like, I don't know, like a really, really short fat S when I'm doing the leaves. Yeah, it's just sort of, I set the brush to the side and just go in an upwards motion. It's hard to explain. I think, you know, if you can see it being done, it might be able to, yeah. I hope you know what I mean. And I'll finish off this nail again with a few little add-ons, a few little dots here and there, and then we'll do top coat. This is another very, very easy design. It's literally just two flowers that are closed with the stems, and sometimes, you know, less is more, and they can be very, very effective on a set of nails. Sorry, that's my mum and dad sending me videos, so God knows what they're sending me. Probably something to do with coronavirus. So just finishing off with just a few little decorative strokes, and then we'll go into top coat. So you can really see what a difference top coat makes to the flowers. It really just makes them stand out, makes them look smoother. So I thought while I was here I would go ahead and show you the blooming gel. So this is the blooming gel polish from Canny. I got this off AliExpress, and you do your first layer of white and you cure it, and then you do your second layer of white and you don't cure it, and then you go in with a little detailer brush and the Canny blooming gel in whatever colour you're doing. So this one I'm doing a rose, so you do like your little C shape, and then you just continue doing like boomerang shapes around it, and you can see that it just starts to spread out. I love this stuff. It's amazing. Love it. So same again, I did my first coat and cured it, then the second coat I didn't cure it, and now I'm getting in and I'm doing sort of like snake skin design. I know it's purple, but I only got 3 colours in this just to try, and yeah, so, but you know, if you're doing purple nails and they want snake skin, there you go. So this is the last nail that I'll do in this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I've give you some sort of clues or, you know, ideas on how to do one stroke flowers. So Julia, I hope it's been helpful for you, and if anybody else has any, you know, nail art ideas they'd like to see me do, please pop it in the comments and I'll try my best to do it for you. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.